Hi everyone, it's me, Kevin. I'm back with another Animal Crossing Chill and Chat video. If you don't know what Animal Crossing Chill and Chat is, it's basically where I run through some dailies and play the game and just talk about whatever I really want to. Fair warning, it's not really the average Animal Crossing gameplay that you might find on some other videos, but otherwise feel free to grab a cup of coffee, tea, or just vibe along. It's been a while since I made my last one of these. I think it's been a little over a month at this point. In that time, I've been exploring other content, making Neopets videos and just other random stuff. I'm planning to do a horror video as well as some co-op stuff with friends coming up, so look out for that. With that said, I definitely don't plan to ever stop making Animal Crossing content. It's certainly a staple of my life at this point, and yeah, for the foreseeable future, I just don't see myself stopping. So for today's theme, I thought that I could maybe just talk about my general thoughts on the Animal Crossing community, since it's been a little over 2 years since ACNH came out, and I've been a part of it for quite a while at this point. I started kind of involving myself in it with Animal Crossing New Leaf. As some of you might already know, I currently run an Animal Crossing meme account on Instagram called Cavino Crossing, and I made that back in July of 2020, so a few months after New Horizons came out. And for me, I kind of just wanted that to be an extension of my involvement in the AC community from back in the New Leaf days. I just wanted it to be a place where I could share my excitement for the game and just random screenshots from New Horizons without spamming my personal account. And somehow it just kind of gradually turned into something bigger. It turned into a place for me to find folks who had a passion for the game as much as I did and kind of appreciated my approach to it. Even if it was something as simple as just laughing at my jokes and hating on Diva, it was just really fun to have that community for me. I think it started out really fun, but I think as time passed, we all got a little bit unhappy with the state of New Horizons. We all felt starved for content, and I definitely think things felt kind of bleak for us regulars. I partially blame myself for feeling that way. I turned the game into a content creation machine, and I could have easily just stopped playing, but the obligation of social media to find whatever content I could make out of it detrimented my perspective of it, I think. Even worse, I didn't really understand the perspective of those that approached it so positively and, had all this optimism about the game. It was really bad because in my head, I just kept thinking to myself, how could you possibly still enjoy this game? There are so many issues with it. But in reality, I think that was just me clouding my own view with the negatives of the game. There were still absolutely things people could enjoy about it, and there were things I could enjoy about it as well. And I just kind of refused to see that. I think my response to the huge 2.0 update kind of speaks to this as well. Even though it addressed so many problems, I feel like I got so ingrained in the conversation of the negatives over the almost 2 years prior to it being released that it sped up my deterioration of my joy of the game. I convinced myself that in that time the game wasn't really worth playing, and it stopped being about the things I disliked about the iteration and more about just losing the passion, which really isn't Nintendo's responsibility to kind of cater to. When 2.0 finally did get announced, I mostly cared about the optics and the possibilities tied with the updates, and that was it. How little I played when it actually did drop shows that I just didn't care for the game anymore. I feel like this might be a really long-winded way of me saying that I may have just kind of forgotten something so core to Animal Crossing in the process of all the negativity and all my kind of analysis of the new iteration. I kind of forgot that it's a game where people come and go, where no two people experience the game equally. And, some people are coming to the game for the very first time, while others are coming back from months of hiatus and others have been playing daily. And I don't know, it almost feels like I kind of ignored a community within the game, a subsection of people who, in my opinion, represented some of the purest approaches to the game. And those are the people that first inspired me to be as passionate and dedicated as I was in the first place. I think I forgot about the joy of the game when it was solely an escape for me from my real life pressures, regardless of what made the game good or bad. The bads were just something I worked around because the goods were enough for me to still love the game for what it was. I think looking back, that sentiment alone was what I wanted to highlight and share when I first started my social media account. And I don't think I really did that. No, I definitely didn't do that. I do feel a little responsible in sharing my passion through these channels and, showing the game to newer players and exposing them to the joys of it rather than blasting the worst bits. I mean, that's what influencers in the community were doing for me when I first started New Leaf, and they were directly responsible for how much I enjoyed the game. I think that when people are coming online to look for a community for a game they're getting into, you know, they're looking for someone that can help them get more joy out of it and who can push them to enjoy the game further in ways that they weren't able to themselves. At least I think that's what I look for when I'm kind of finding influencers through Instagram or any other social media platform. And I think I kind of ignored that part of the community, and you know, I do feel a little bit guilty about that. Not that it's entirely my responsibility, but I want to be that source of joy and that source of inspiration. So with that said, I think moving forward, I want to spend time in the positives of the game. I can't promise I'll never talk about the bits and pieces that I'm not as happy about, but I want to reframe the narrative, I guess, if that makes sense. Because at the end of it all, I still love this game a lot, and it's meant so much to me over the years. I think it's far more important that I put effort into sharing that with an audience over continuously spotlighting the negatives. You know, one way I'm kind of working to combat that is I'm avoiding Animal Crossing content creation for the sake of it, and I think that's helped me to start to mend that way of thinking for me. Like, for example, I love making these chill and chat videos because, well, first of all, I love talking. No, but also like it gives me an avenue. It gives me an avenue to play the game without putting much thought into digging for enjoyable content, and it just gives me a reason to soak in the ambiance of it and just, you know, open it. But yeah, you know, even just opening the game and doing these dailies, even though it's nothing too special, it does give me a good reason to pop open the game and enjoy what I've spent my time in the past creating. So I guess with all that said, outside of Animal Crossing, my life's been okay. Nothing too great, nothing too awful. Work's been pretty average, and I feel like I've just been slowly going through the days. I feel like there's not a ton to look forward to, but there's also nothing that I'm too sad about, so it truly is a constant state of meh. I'm not really sure how to think about that, but maybe that's what sparked this random introspective moment and content. So I think that's all I really had to talk about today. You know, I really appreciate anyone that has stuck with me through the video. This is definitely something I love to do, and I hope some of y'all enjoy it as well. So y'all remember to eat some food, drink lots of water, stay safe, and you know, I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.